So I'm still here after all this YouTube thing. I had to delete all my videos, but the channel is still here and I'm happy about that. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sasha and this one is my channel. Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Today we'll be looking at a new RTA made by BP Mods. It's a rebuildable one, otherwise it wouldn't be an RTA. And its name is Sure. This one. We already seen BP Mods on my channel. He's around since 2019, so it's not so young, but it's still doing great, and usually he does very smart stuff. So without further prevaricating, let's go down to the table, have a closer look at it, and then come back to my face and do a couple of toots and a couple of reasonings with the Sure RTA by BP Mods. Let's go down to the table. In the BP Mods Sure RTA packaging, we got two coils. One is a 26 gauge for MTL and the other one is a Clapton coil for restricted lung. Some spare O-rings and spare screws. A lot, actually. And a whole lot of air pins. We got a 0.8, 0.9, 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 2, 2.5 and 3 millimeters in diameter. It's up to you. One spare drip tip. Actually, it's a half spare drip tip. Some BP Mods recommendations about the Jewish, but not just the Jewish. A very detailed exploded version of the Sure RTA, which always comes in hand. And all the specifications of what's included in the packaging. So you can do a screenshot here or pause the video and check it out. And then we got our Sure RTA, which is a restricted lung or MTL kind of atomizer. It's a 3.8 milliliters of capacity, 22 millimeters in diameter, and it's primarily made of stainless steel, and this is PCTG or plastic. It's plastic. The Sure RTA is available in the stainless steel version, but also in DLC version, diamond-like carbon version, and you can separately buy two different tanks. The long tank kit, which takes the capacity from 3.8 milliliters to 6 milliliters, and it's quite cool. And the short tank kit that takes the capacity from 3.8 milliliters to 2.4 milliliters, and it's quite short. In this configuration, the Sure RTA is 35.45 in height, so quite short. The regular version is about 44 millimeters, and the long version takes your Sure RTA to 49.85 millimeters in height. When you buy a spare tank, you get this silicone pad. Don't lose it, because you can just fill your tank, use the pad like this, close the holes, and take it with you just like a pre-filled pod, something like that, no? Quite convenient. You got these same options for the stainless steel version, so you got the long version and the short version. Forgot to tell you that in the short version you cannot remove the drip tip. It's like melted with the polycarbonate tank. And if this is not enough, we also have the Ultem kit too, which includes the tank in Ultem and the drip tip in Ultem. You have both the drip tips available in the Ultem tank, so for changing this upper part you just have to lightly unscrew this You see it's threaded here, so you screw down the other one and put the drip tip back on, like this. At the bottom we got the 510 pin which protrudes a lot, so you can use this Shure RTA on mechanical mods. We got BP mods since 2020 and Shure RTA and this serial number. Then as AFC we got not one, not two, but 3 slits here, and you can use 2 or 3. It's quite easy, just pull off, rotate until you can hear the click like that, and you got one close and the other one open, so you got 2 open and 1 close. If you want both open, just put it like that, so you got 1, 2 and 3. The tank has 2 feeding ports, which if you turn it fully clockwise are open, fully anti-clockwise are closed, and at the center you can hear a light click. It gives you the opportunity to open it. Like that. You see how it is on the inside? You got also the 2 divers here, which by the way are removable, but I can't see any reason to remove them, so I let them sit right where they are. And here inside you got written designed by Bruce and another guy that I don't know him, maybe he's a nice guy. Here is where you will refill your tank. This is the inner chamber of our Shure RTA. You can see the divers is where the e-liquid will drop down. And there's a kind of rounded bell, so I think that we'll have a lot of flavor for creamy and fruity stuff. This is the deck. The air comes from right here. If you don't put any air pin, the diameter of this one is 3.8, so maybe it's good for you for flavor chasing, RDL, stuff like that. But I'm more of an MTL guy, so I will use the 2mm air pin, and you can just put it down like that. There's an O-ring inside that will keep it in place, and that's it. You get your 2mm air pin going on here. Shure RTA, it's a simple 2-post screws, and you can mount coils that are wrapped clockwise and anti-clockwise. I'm glad to see this in this atomizer, because sometimes I just don't have the right coil for the atomizer. Here is where you put your cotton and maybe your coil jig, so that you'll put your coil in the right position when you are building your Shure RTA. Talking about building, I'll use a Defcon 1 Ultra Nano from Breakill's Alien Lab from his Breakill's Bullets line. It's a 2.5mm coil, and it should be around 0.91 ohm. And the coil builder suggests to use it at around 16 to 18 watts. And that's what I'll do, cause he's a nice guy. So check out Breakill's Alien Lab, because he's a very good coil builder. And one thing's for sure, I'll use the BP Mods cotton. So stop chit chat, time to rebuild. So building that easy, it took really just like 3 minutes to do it. One thing, don't lighten up your cotton, just cut it here perfectly and use the right amount so that the cotton itself will be tight enough inside your coil, especially if you use a complex coil like me. So we just have to fill the tank, close the atomizer, and we're done. And we're done! Sure RTA by BP Mods. We've checked it, tweak it, fiddle it, and now we come back to my face and do a couple of toots and a couple of reasonings. Back to my face. So I've been using it since 3 weeks now, and let me take a tooth. First of all, design. I like that. I like the fact that you can change the tank, you can put the bigger one, which I like a lot, and the smallest one, which I really don't like particularly because I prefer big capacities on RTAs and not RTAs. Quality is good, it's an Asian product, but it looks great. There are no scratches, nothing at all. Is very well done. I like the MTL drip tip as usual, I would say, because every time that BP Mods does an atomizer, usually he does great drip tips. Maybe because we have the same taste about drip tips, but it always feels fine on my lips, so I'm quite happy about that. And this time too. I like the fact that there is no threading up here. You can let open the drippers, close them, or unlock and take off your tank without any threading. It's easier, so the easier the better. Good idea, thumbs up for that. So you got your e-liquid that comes from up to down, and this is a design that we already seen on FEV, Flashy Vapor. Everyone knows it, is around about forever, and a lot of other brands decided to do this kind of atomizer, and the BP Mods did it too. It's its version, and I think they did a great job because the drippers are very near to your cotton, so it just touches the cotton if you wick it properly, and that's good because the e-liquid that comes down doesn't go around inside your deck, it just goes on your cotton, so there is no gurgling, there is no e-liquid that goes around, just on the cotton, and it's quite perfect. The distance is perfect, it's very well designed. Building has been super easy, dead easy. If you are not a pro on building, you can buy this one and you'll not have particular issues in building it. And it's quite fast. It took really just a couple of minutes, and you can't miss the right coil positioning because you have your space and the two supports for your coil jigs. So even if you don't know how to do it, you do it right. Talking about AFC, you got a lot of air pins. If you use the MTL ones, doesn't matter if you use 2 or 3 slots on the base, because the airpin hole is smaller than the 2 air slots. So the draw is all about the airpin and not the slots. If you use it with bigger slots for a restricted direct lung, In that case, 2 or 3 slots makes the difference, so you have a balance between the hole under the coil and the slots. If you use small hairpins, it's very silent. The wider the hole is, the more turbulence you'll have, but until 2 millimeters in diameter holes, it's not that much. So yes, it's not the most silent atomizer you could buy, but it's a quiet one. If you use it with bigger hairpins for restricted lung style, yes, you have more air coming in, so more air you have, more turbulence you have, but it has been a smart move to put 3 different slots that are not so big instead of 1 bigger slot, because with a bigger one there's more turbulence than the 3 smaller ones. I've tried it with the Cut Start by the Vape Man, which is a classic custard, very well made, and it's okay. It's not too sweet. I don't like if it's too sweet. It's a sweet e-liquid, so we cannot expect that it's not too sweet at all, but it's not too much, so for me has been okay. I've tried it with the Cigarette One by Angolo della Guancia, which is a net juice, and it's a mixture of Black Cavendish, Virginia Barley and Latakia. And this one, it's not too dry. Usually it's a bit drier than in the Shure RTA. You can perceive more the Black Cavendish and the leafy note of the Virginia instead of the Latakia and the dryness of the barley. But it's good. It's more easy to use if you are really not into fire cured or net juices. It's quieter. I've tried it with the Virginia Plus by Angolo della Guancia, the H2O series, so it's an hydrolate. With the classic one, you cannot perceive a lot of Virginia because basically it's Virginia and butter. And this is the case too. It's the same with the hydrolates. You get a big butter here and it's a very good one. And with the Shure RTA, you got a clean butter. It's not too sweet too, so I'm quite happy about how it goes with the Virginia Plus by Angolo della Guancia. And at the end, I've tried it with the Virginia by Loco Rosa, which is a classic non-aromatized Virginia net juice. It's an organic one. And this one has been fantastic because you can perceive the sweetness of the Virginia, the herbal notes, the leafy notes. It's everything almost perfect. So I'm super happy about the test with the Virginia and the Shure RTA. It's 10 out of 10 to me. I did my research on the interweb and I found the Shure RTA at about $42, which is not that much. You don't have to break your vape piggy bank for checking out the Shure RTA. It's what I was expecting from an atomizer like that. Considering that there are a lot of hairpins and accessories and it has a good package too, it's not that much. It's a little bit less maybe than expected, so I'm quite okay with that. At the end, I say that this is a good atomizer, especially for MTL, but you can use it in RDL too, especially if you buy the bigger tank, so you have a lot of capacity and you go a long way in a RDL kind of style. It has a good draw, it's calibrated, I like it. Just one thing that I would change in the next version, to use bigger O-rings at the base, because these ones doesn't have much grip on the rest of the eddy. So if you take the eddy like that, it's probable, not sure but probable, that if you use it like that, it just falls down. It happens to me a couple of times. And so I have to tell you because it's an honest review. So I think that I did a quite good review this time. Yes, I'm happy about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, you can put a like or not. Very important for me is that you subscribe to my channel because it doesn't cost you nothing and I will never make you pay any of my content. So doesn't matter if you like Virginia butter or you're vegan, the very important thing is that you stay away from coffee nails. Ciao!